Leo soul, you didn't stumble upon this video by accident. You were led here, because the big Thursday has arrived, and a divine gift is being unlocked for you on August 7th. This moment right now is not just a timestamp in your week. It's not just another Thursday. It's a sacred appointment in your soul's calendar, and the universe has guided you here because you are finally ready. Ready to receive. Ready to remember. Ready to awaken the part of you that has been quietly preparing for this very moment across months, years, maybe even lifetimes. Can you feel it? That subtle pulse in your chest? That unspoken knowing that something is shifting not outside of you, but within? It's not hype. It's not coincidence. It's divine alignment. The truth is, your entire life has been leading you to this Thursday. Every moment of silence, every prayer whispered into the dark, every setback you questioned, every tear no one saw, none of it was wasted. It was all preparation for what's arriving now. Leo, your spirit has endured. And more importantly, it has remained open. That openness is why this message found you. The divine doesn't speak to the noise, it speaks to the space we make for it. And you, whether consciously or not, have made space. You've been calling this in, and the universe has heard you. I want you to pause, take a breath, and truly receive what I'm about to say. The gift that's being unlocked is not a random reward or lucky break. It is something tailor-made for you, something spiritual, sacred, and transformative. It may show up in the form of a new opportunity, a restored relationship, a deeper sense of purpose, or a sudden clarity that changes how you see your path. But however it arrives, you'll recognize it, not with your eyes, but with your soul. Because it's what you've been waiting for, maybe even longer than you realize. And here's the part that may surprise you: the gift is not arriving to fix you. It's arriving because you've already done the inner work to hold it. This is not about being rescued, this is about being rewarded. Heaven is not swooping in to save you. Heaven is honoring you. Let that sink in. You've walked through darkness and didn't lose your light. You've stayed generous even when your own heart was tired. You've led with courage even while healing wounds of your own. That's why this Thursday matters. It's not about the calendar date, it's about energetic readiness. And Leo, you're ready now. So I want to invite you to claim this moment. Not with fear. Not with hesitation. But with the confidence of someone who finally remembers they were born for this. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to comment below and simply write, "I'm ready to receive." Not for the algorithm. Not for validation. But as a declaration. As an energetic contract. As a signal to the universe that you are no longer waiting, you are walking into your moment. I'm deeply grateful you're here. Your presence matters more than you know. Every like, every comment, every share doesn't just support this channel. It amplifies the ripple of light we're creating together. Thank you for being part of this awakening space. Stay with me until the end of this message, Leo. Because what the universe is about to reveal next is powerful, and I promise you, you won't want to miss it. There's a quiet power in moments that arrive after long silence, those seasons when you've waited, prayed, surrendered, and still found yourself in the dark. And yet, dear Leo, it's in that darkness that your roots grew deeper. What you couldn't see forming beneath the surface was not the absence of grace, but the presence of profound preparation. The gift that is now awakening for you was never late. It was simply arriving in divine rhythm, matching the cadence of your soul's evolution. Today, you're not standing at a random point in time. You're at the threshold of a promise being fulfilled, one that your spirit has long remembered, even if your mind has forgotten. This gift that approaches you on this big Thursday is not material in its essence. It may manifest in the physical realm, yes, but its origin is far beyond what hands can touch. It is a vibrational answer to the energy you've been emanating during your quietest, most private battles. It is not a prize handed out to the loudest voice, but a sacred response to your silent courage. The energy of the sun, your ruling planet, is now reaching a harmonious trine with Uranus, the planet of sudden change, of liberation, and of divine disruption. That's why this moment may feel like both a gentle homecoming and a shock of awakening all at once. Uranus doesn't knock politely, it shatters the structures that limit you, but only to free you into a higher, more authentic version of yourself. There is a teaching that says, what you cling to becomes your prison, but what you release becomes your teacher. The delay in receiving this promise was never punishment, it was the universe's invitation for you to let go of timelines, attachments, and egoic definitions of what a blessing should look like. Because only in the emptiness created by surrender could this gift find a home within you. You didn't just wait for this moment. You became this moment. And now, like a lotus that has emerged through mud and shadow, your life is blooming right on time. In the language of the stars, timing is everything. And when cosmic timing intersects with human readiness, what we call miracles begin to unfold. Leo, your heart has always known this. You were never meant to receive what others receive, you were meant to receive what only you could carry. The law of resonance tells us that the vibration of our inner world magnetizes the outer. And right now, your soul is resonating with the very same frequency as the gift that is approaching. That's why it feels different. That's why this moment feels sacred. Somewhere along your journey, you may have asked, when will it be my time? And the answer was never, not yet. The answer was always, when you're ready to hold it, live it, and share it. And beloved, you are ready. More than that, you're realigned. The energy surrounding you now isn't demanding that you chase. It's inviting you to open, to soften, and to receive. The light is not coming for your perfection. It's arriving because of your persistence, your prayers, your process. As you reflect on what this moment means for you, I invite you to write down one thing you've been holding in your heart, one prayer that you whispered in the dark and perhaps forgot you even asked for. When you do, something activates. Not outside of you, but within you. It's the sacred yes, your permission to align with what's already on its way. This is not about control. This is about resonance. The more clearly you feel it, the closer it comes. The more deeply you trust it, the more fully it manifests. And the more authentically you live it, the more powerfully it transforms not just your life, but every life you touch. So take a breath, Leo. The promise is unfolding. The gift is here. And this time it's yours. There is something exquisitely personal about what's unfolding for you now, Leo. You've likely felt it not just as a passing thought, but as a deep stirring in your chest, a sense that something is arriving that was never meant to be anyone else's but yours. The truth is, what's on its way is not random, not repackaged, not generic. It's a gift that has been sculpted by the very shape of your soul. Every heartache you've survived, every boundary you've learned to set, every tear you've swallowed without being seen, they've been weaving a blueprint that only you could imprint. This gift carries that signature. As a Leo, you live from the heart. You don't play small. When you give fully. When you love, you burn with intensity. And when you're hurt, you retreat not because you're weak, but because you love so loudly that even the smallest silence feels deafening. That's why this gift had to come now, not before, not later. It had to arrive at a moment when you were no longer seeking outside approval but beginning to remember your inherent worth from within. This is the energy of strength in tarot, not the forceful roar, but the quiet courage to stay open in a world that taught you to close. What's approaching now is not simply a breakthrough, it's a form of soul recognition. You might not see it at first in a flash of light or a dramatic event. It may come as a glance, a message, an opportunity that gently whispers, "I see you. I know who you are." The gift is not just the thing itself, it's the part of you that awakens when you receive it. That's why it cannot be rushed or replicated. Because its true value lies in the inner opening it activates. In numerology, August 7th carries the vibration of the number 6, the number of harmony, soul connections, and sacred homecomings. It brings the energy of love that isn't based on conditions or roles, but on resonance. It's the feeling of returning to something you forgot you were missing. This gift, in many ways, is not something new, it's a remembering. It may come through someone who looks at you like they've known you across lifetimes. Or it may be a vision that returns to you in a dream, so clear you can still feel it when you wake. There is a teaching that reminds us, the path is not to become something more, but to drop all that is not truly you. That's what this moment is about, receiving a gift that reminds you who you are without the masks, without the striving, without the wounds that once defined you. In this sense, the gift is not arriving outside of you. It's being unlocked from within. The Sun, your ruling planet, blesses you with boldness, but Uranus, the planet currently sending disruptive yet liberating waves, brings innovation. This pairing signals that the gift may come in a form you didn't expect, through a channel you never considered. That's why staying open, not just in action but in perception, is essential. Sometimes the treasure is hidden in the ordinary, waiting for us to see it differently. So if something within you feels like it's shifting, even if just slightly, trust it. If you've noticed signs, symbols, synchronicities that seem tailored to you, they are not coincidences. They are echoes of the gift drawing closer. And if your heart whispers that it's ready, even if your mind still doubts, that's enough. Comment unlocked or red heart below if you feel it too. Because this gift, it knows your name. Sometimes the greatest movement happens in the stillness. When everything seems paused, when nothing appears to be happening on the surface, the soul is quietly rearranging itself beneath. Leo, you, of all signs, are wired for motion, passion, progress. Waiting can feel unnatural, like a dimmed fire when your nature is to blaze. But here's the deeper truth. What feels like delay is often the universe's most sacred form of protection. Not everything you want is withheld from you. Sometimes, it's being preserved for the moment when you can fully carry it, hold it, and embody its meaning. Delays have a language of their own. They teach us to soften our grip, to release our expectations, to trust what we cannot yet see. In moments of pause, you may have questioned your path. You may have believed you were forgotten, left behind, or punished for something you couldn't name. But the truth is far more compassionate. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. There's an ancient teaching that says, the fruit falls when it's ripe, not before. What's meant for you doesn't disappear. It simply waits for your vibration to align with its presence. The Hanged Man in tarot perfectly mirrors this energy. He's not stuck suspended. Willingly, even. His perspective is shifting, his inner world reorganizing. And from this pause comes wisdom, clarity, and eventual freedom. Your delays were never dead ends, they were sacred corridors of transformation. Each closed door redirected you toward a truer version of your life. Every goodbye made room for something more aligned to arrive. What felt like rejection was a reroute. What looked like silence was space being made for resonance. If you found yourself revisiting old grief, unmet dreams, or forgotten prayers lately, it's not regression. It's your soul clearing space for the gift that's coming. True readiness is not about forcing readiness, it's about noticing that you no longer chase the gift with desperation. You begin to feel it approach because you've become the kind of person who can hold it without breaking under its weight. That's the shift happening in you now. And it's beautiful. There's also a lesson here about identity. Often, we attach our worth to timing, believing that if something hasn't arrived, we must not deserve it. But you are not defined by how fast your blessings arrive. You are defined by the grace you carry while you wait. The patience you cultivate, the stillness you learn to honor, the compassion you extend to yourself through each chapter of "not yet," these are the quiet victories that shape you more than any quick success ever could. To support this energy, surround yourself today with the color indigo, a hue that awakens intuition, stillness, and spiritual discernment. Wear it, visualize it in meditation, or light a candle of that shade as a symbolic gesture of surrender. And if you feel called, take a moment now to write down something you once saw as a failure, but now, with wiser eyes, you recognize it as a detour that helped shape who you are becoming. This is not an empty reflection, it's an act of energetic release. When you name what you've learned, you claim your growth. And remember this, the gift isn't delayed because you're doing something wrong. It's arriving precisely because you've done something right, even if that something was simply choosing to keep going when you didn't yet see the finish line. The most powerful manifestations come not when we force them, but when we become the version of ourselves that no longer needs to force anything. That's where you are, Leo. The timing is not arbitrary. And the gift is not lost. It's coming now that you've stopped needing it to rush. After long periods of stillness and inner refinement, there often comes a moment when everything starts to move at once. Not in chaos, but in a rhythm so precise, so aligned, that it feels like the universe has suddenly remembered your name and whispered it across every area of your life. This is what we call divine acceleration, and Leo, you're stepping into it now. It's not just that things are changing, it's that they're changing faster than your logic can comprehend. Doors once locked are swinging open. Delays that once felt like burdens are unraveling into breakthroughs. You're not being rushed, you're being realigned, and the energy around you is conspiring to catch up with the readiness you've cultivated in silence. Astrologically, this shift is supported by a powerful trine between the Sun, your ruler, and Jupiter, the planet of expansion, growth, and benevolent opportunity. When these two celestial bodies dance in harmony, it's as though you are handed a green light from the cosmos. Not a warning to proceed with caution, but an invitation to trust the movement, to act on intuition without overthinking, and to step boldly into what you've quietly been preparing for. This isn't a moment to hesitate. It's a moment to engage, knowing that your steps are supported by something larger than logic. But rapid movement brings its own set of challenges. The body, mind, and nervous system must keep pace with the energy rising around you. You may feel bursts of restlessness, vivid dreams, or even unexplainable fatigue. These are signs not of regression, but of integration. Just as a river becomes louder when it meets no resistance, your inner world is echoing the flow that is finally unblocked. Take care of your vessel during this time. 10 minutes of quiet breathing in the morning can ground you. Light physical movement, gentle walks in nature, or writing down the thoughts flooding in can help you release overwhelm and harness clarity. Movement isn't just physical, it's energetic, and the more you clear internally, the more ease you invite externally. This is also the perfect moment to reset your relationship with money. Abundance is not a reward for perfection, it's a mirror of your inner openness. Take a pen and write down 3 financial intentions you want to see realized by the end of this year. Not just numbers, but how you want to feel in your relationship with money: secure, generous, empowered. Then allow that feeling to lead your choices this week. A single aligned decision in a season of acceleration can shift the entire trajectory. In your work, pay attention to what feels stagnant. If you're in a role, project, or space that no longer matches your evolving self, this is the time to explore something new. Not out of rebellion, but because your frequency no longer fits the old structure. You're not meant to shrink yourself to stay where you don't belong. Trust that the same force accelerating your path will make room for the next aligned opportunity. And in love, whether single or partnered, this is a season to soften into openness. To let your guard down just enough to be seen, and to believe that you're worthy of the kind of connection that doesn't just meet you where you are, but expands you toward where you're meant to go. There is a soul out there, or perhaps already nearby, whose resonance is rising to meet yours. Let that possibility breathe. So I ask you now, what movement are you sensing in your life? What part of you feels like it's waking up, shedding old layers, or rushing towards something you've longed for? Comment below and share your shift, because speaking it out loud affirms your participation in this wave. And trust this, you're not late. You're arriving exactly when the path is ready to hold you. Sometimes the most powerful shifts don't announce themselves with fireworks or fanfare. They arrive softly like a whisper only the heart can hear, yet they carry the weight of lifetimes. Leo, the gift that is unfolding for you now is not simply a reward for surviving the past. It is a sacred activation. And while it may appear to elevate your life on the surface, its true purpose runs deeper: to elevate your impact, your presence, your service. What you're receiving is not only a blessing, it is a calling. When the energy of judgment rises in a reading, it's not about judgment in the way we're used to hearing it. It's about awakening. A trumpet in the spirit calling you to rise from your old self, to step into a higher expression of your soul's design. That's where you are right now. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been beneath the layers of fear, performance, and past pain. The truth is, this gift didn't appear to complete you. It came because you've reached the vibration where you can finally recognize yourself as already whole. And with that recognition comes responsibility, not heavy, burdensome duty, but a responsibility that feels like alignment. You are being entrusted with energy that can shift rooms, restore hope, and spark clarity, not through your words alone, but through your presence. This is the path of the Hierophant. Not the traditional teacher perched on a pedestal, but the sacred mirror who helps others find their own truth simply by living theirs unapologetically. Your life becomes the teaching. Your healing becomes a roadmap. And the way you choose to hold this gift will ripple into spaces and souls you may never meet directly. This moment is not just for you. And that is what makes it sacred. The universe is not just blessing you to comfort you. It is moving through you to bless others through your smile, your story, your courage to keep choosing light when it would be easier to go numb. This is why Leo energy is so crucial now. You are not just someone who basks in the sunlight. You are someone who creates it. You are not here to chase validation. You are here to embody radiance so authentically that others remember how to shine too. Gratitude is the key that unlocks more. Not because it manipulates the universe into giving, but because it aligns your energy with receiving. So tonight, light a candle or sit quietly, and write a letter of thanks, not for what you lack, but for what is already arriving. Thank the unseen. Thank the version of you who stayed soft while learning to be strong. Thank the journey that made you ready. And as you write, let your words become a bridge between who you were and who you are now stepping into. You don't need to broadcast your evolution. But know this, your quiet growth echoes louder than you think. Somewhere, someone who's almost ready to give up will see you, hear your story, or simply feel your energy, and they'll decide to try one more time. That's the ripple effect of living your purpose. That's what this gift has always truly been about. So now I ask you, will you continue waiting for someone else to light the fire within you? Or will you finally realize that the flame has always been yours to tend, to trust, and to carry? Your presence is the permission others are waiting for. Shine accordingly. As you sit with everything we've uncovered today, I invite you to take a deep breath, not just to settle the mind, but to acknowledge how far you've come. Because this isn't just another message, another video, or another day. This is the confirmation your soul has been whispering about. You are not watching this by chance. You didn't stumble upon these words in passing. You were led here by the very frequency of the gift that has always been yours. And now, it's time. You're not someone waiting anymore. You are someone rising, someone chosen, someone finally walking into what was once just a distant dream wrapped in silence and prayer. You've crossed thresholds of pain and grown through seasons of uncertainty. But those weren't detours. They were refinements. You didn't lose time, you were being sharpened. You didn't get left behind, you were being repositioned. And now, the path is no longer ahead of you, it's unfolding beneath your feet. This is your season of grace, of divine acceleration, of legacy. You've waited long enough. You've healed deeply enough. And now, you're ready to live what you once only hoped for. So I ask you, not from a place of pressure, but from a place of love, what would shift in your life if you truly believed the gift was already yours? What would you say yes to? What would you stop tolerating? What vision would you finally act on, not because you had everything figured out, but because you trust that everything is already lining up for you? Remember, transformation doesn't always roar. Sometimes it arrives as a whisper in your spirit that says, "It's time." And if something in you is stirring right now, if a part of your being feels a sacred yes rising, don't brush it off. That is alignment. That is clarity. That is you meeting your moment. So, take that moment and claim it. Write in the comments, "I'm ready." Not from a but for you. Let it be your signal to the universe that you've opened the door from within. And if this message lit something within you, if even for a second, it reminded you that you are seen, supported, and so deeply worthy, then please take a moment to share it with someone who might need to hear the same. You never know who might be standing right where you once stood, quietly asking for a sign. Before we part ways, let me say this from the deepest place in my heart: thank you. Thank you for your presence, for your time, for allowing me to speak into your spirit today. Every like, every comment, every subscription here on Eternal Mindfulness is more than just support. It's a ripple of light. It's part of a movement to bring healing, alignment, and awakening to souls around the world, and you are now part of that. Your support makes this work possible, and your presence here today is a gift in itself. So stay open. Stay anchored. Stay true to what your soul is revealing. Because the gift isn't coming. It's already here. Now is the time to receive it with grace, live it with purpose, and share it with courage. And trust me, dear Leo, the best is not just coming, it's already unfolding through you.